Hi, everyone. Happy Friday for those of you in Australia today. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Valerie. Hey, Brooke. How you going? Nice to see you all. Hey, everyone. Louise, Liz, Amy. We are delighted today to be chatting all things habit formation for 2021. This year can't end soon enough. I'm assuming a few of you might agree with me on that one. So to kick things off, the fabulous Keita from Westpac is going to start it off, and then Keita and I will carry on our discussion around goal setting. I'll hand it over to you, Keita.
Thank you so much, Meggie. As you mentioned, I'm Keita. I'm Senior Manager of Women's Markets at Westpac. I have the absolute privilege of running Ruby Connection, and I'm so excited to be here today for the last webinar of the year. Holy moly, it has been a year. There's a few new names on the webinar today. So for those of you who aren't familiar, Ruby is Westpac's online community for women. It's the first of its kind to be set up by an Australian bank, and it's a central platform where like-minded women, much like you, come together and have great conversations and form connections just like this. So wherever you are on your financial journey, whether you're part of an established family or you're looking to invest or wind down, Ruby is the place to go and learn more. So I'm particularly excited about this session today and hear from Keita on how we can set strategic and meaningful goals for 2021, particularly after the year that has been. So thank you so much. Enjoy, and back over to you, Meggie.
Thank you so much, Keita. We really appreciate it. And a huge thank you to Westpac's Ruby Connection for supporting these conversations to help support you in your financial journey, your career journey, and your business journey as well. So Keita Williams, a big hello. You're joining us from the United States today.
Hello, everyone. So happy lunchtime on Friday. It is dinner time here in Seattle on Thursday. So I hope Friday is really promising because I'll get there soon.
Look, the future looks good. I'm down under in Sydney too, and I can tell you it looks good. So you're in for a great day tomorrow. But Keita, you and I had the pleasure of, we've sort of been connected through a bunch of different mutual friends. Can you just give us the quick précis on your background? You went from corporate, now you're considered the success bully. You kick people's ass to get into gear and get stuff done.
Yeah. So my background is in tech public relations. So that's what I did previous to becoming a professional butt kicker. And I actually said success bully as a joke. We're coming up on our 4-year anniversary. So it'll be 4 years in January. I said it as a joke. I just happened to say it as a joke in front of a bunch of entrepreneurs. And that joke turned into a whole a coaching practice around goal setting and accountability. That's our sweet spot. That's what we play to do. And I was able to, I surpassed my corporate salary last year. So I've been bullying full time. So I transitioned out of corporate. I've partnered with organizations like Amazon, Facebook, General Assembly, Microsoft, Meredith Corp. We work in O'Reilly Media in terms of doing corporate workshops around goal setting, accountability. My private clients have earned over $20 million in additional revenue working with me. I'm an international speaker and I have sold out events and live shows. I've been featured in national publications like CNBC, Good Morning America, Reader's Digest, Redbook, Yahoo, and the like. So this thing that I said as a joke has turned into a whole new thing. And yeah, so we consider ourselves professional butt kickers.
So I love it that you said I've been bullying people for years now. Now, I should put that into context for anyone who sort of joined on the back end of that.
Right.
That is not in a negative way. And bullying towards success.
Absolutely. And I'm not a jerk. I just want to tee that up. I'm not a jerk. At least I don't think so. But like our coaching practice is built around the idea of accountability. So I don't get into the squish. Like I am not a life coach. I am not here to support you in self-discovery and desire mapping. It is getting really crisp about your goals, breaking that down into a strategic plan, breaking that plan down into weekly benchmarks. And we check in every week. We have a tracking system. I'm looking at what you're doing.
I love that. I love that. And as someone, we built the PepTalkHer app to help you track your successes throughout your career. So that's why I think we're kindred spirits. And also we both got the memo to wear red today. So
yes, and red lips.
Pleased that we're in tune.
We planned that.
Yeah. So listen, for everyone who's just joining, a huge welcome. We are delighted to have you here. We've got a half hour together. Feel free to send your questions in the chat you can send them to everyone, or you can DM them to me, Meggie Palmer, in the chat, and we will get to those for you. But we would love to hear where you are joining us from today. I can see we've got Jill joining us from Thailand. We've got people joining from Brisbane. We've got people from London. It's very late where you are, but welcome. So love to hear from you. Where are you joining from in the chat? Now, Keita, you're joining us from Seattle. 2020's been a year, to put it mildly. 2021, I think all of us are looking forward to a really fresh start, but like, what do we do? So like, that's cool. We've got a new year, yay, resolutions, but like, no one ever keeps those resolutions. How can we, like, what can we learn from you to make sure that we actually keep them?
Well, like, so I'm going to say this in the kindest way possible. Yeah, 2020 has been, you know, we couldn't have written this screenplay. I'm not creative enough. All the twists and turns, plot twist after plot twist after plot twist. And we still got a couple more weeks. There could be a season finale. I think that what we do know about 2021 is that we're going to have a lot of more of the same. So we're going to be old pros going into the way that we connect, the way that we work. All of all the things that have been disruptive are not going to course correct rather quickly. So we know that piece. So the one thing we do control is us. So we can change ourselves. So the circumstances aren't necessarily going to be different in 2021, but we can definitely work on ourselves. And I would say from a goal setting standpoint, what I like to advise my clients to do is to focus on one high impact goal, right? So what is your high impact goal for 2021? Because I think we set out that fight the urge of the New Year's resolution. Like, I'm going to change all these things about myself in 365 days. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because you're pulling yourself in so many different directions that you aren't going to do anything well. So I would think of what's that high impact goal that if you like double down on that one thing, that it'll create a ripple effect in your life. Like, the commitment, the time management to really do that one thing well will show up everywhere else.
Okay. So that's interesting because I think like, and I'd love to hear from you in the chat. Let me know, how many New Year's resolutions goals do you normally set? Because I normally set at least 3. So I've been doing it wrong all these years. So should I be setting one goal? Like should I be having one goal and then that's my focus for the 365 days?
Yes. One, because I think that the ripple effect, just think in impact. So if it is a financial goal, that's going to play into everything else. Like for me, this year was a big revenue goal. And so my health and wellness had to align with that because I have to stay healthy to hit that. Right. Right.
Okay.
So think in impact. What is the thing that if you crush that it'll ripple everywhere else? Because like you're going to have to change some things, right?
Interesting.
You're going to have to develop some new habits. To make a change, you actually got to make a change, right?
So, yeah, interesting. So like if everyone was to do it now, for example, everyone's joining in, everyone here wants to really slay 2021. Should we grab out a pen and paper if you're old school like me, or bring up your Google Doc?
Yes, bring your pens and papers because I got 4 questions. I can kick your butt real quick. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do
it. First question.
Go for it, Keita. Go for it.
First question. What do you want? Do the laundry list. So write out those things you want to accomplish in 2021 and look for that area of impact. So of that list, pick that one. All right. So what, right? Then I want to know when. When do you want it by? Because some of these things cannot be accomplished in 365 days. Is it a 2-year? Is it something that you can do in 6 months? But put a line in the sand. I want an exact date. So if it's December 31st, 2021, write that out, because we can make your plan from there. It's when you say a spring 2022, that's 3 months. That's 3 months. I don't know I don't know how to measure a season, right?
Okay. So we're gonna write down what we want. Do we write down more than one thing or only the one thing?
Write the list and then pick one from that list. So when you think of what you want to accomplish, think of high impact. So look at the list and go, okay, of these things, what is going to have the biggest impact on my life? And that's the one I want you to select.
And so does it almost become a bit like a ladder? So you said yours was a revenue goal. So you wrote that down, but then within that, it's like, okay, well, I can't make money if I'm sick or if I'm unwell. So is it like a ripple effect?
Yeah. So it's like, if you think that like an umbrella, that like all these other things are going to be underneath it. So that's why we think one high impact, because it's going to require you to do all these other things. It's literally going to align. It's going to force alignment in your life.
Okay. So step 1, we're writing down all of the things that we want, and then we're being harsh and we're choosing one. You got to make the tough decision.
High impact, highest impact.
Okay, so we're choosing the one thing. Then we're going to put a line in the sand, date-wise, as to when we're going to achieve that.
When do you want it by? When do you want it by?
Okay, so if we've
Exact
done
date.
that, what's number 3?
Number 3, what are you willing to add or subtract?
Oh,
Because you got to make some changes.
Through that.
Okay, so when you think about this high impact goal, there's going to have to be some new habits that you have to develop. There's going to have to be some behavior changes. So are there things you need to get off your plate? Like do you need to give up a few things, or do you need to add some additional training? Do you need to add some additional support? Do you need to add a cleaning lady? Do you need to get those 3 or 4 hours of cleaning a week back? So what is it that you need to add or subtract to in order to support yourself and get in achieving the goal? Yeah, remove roadblocks and excuses. Hello, Rochelle. Hello, thank you.
I know, I just read that too, and I was like, yes. So the excuses, that's a big one. Is that a big part of when you're success bullying people? Is a big part of that bullying those excuses out of the way? So
because you can excuse your way out of anything.
Right.
You can excuse your way out of anything, and we all have the same 24 hours. It is how you use that 24 hours. So you can excuse your way out of anything. And I tried to, really? Did you not want to do it, or you just didn't do it? It's cool. Just tell me why you didn't do it.
So what are some of the common things, like with the clients that you work with? I know you work with huge tech companies. You work with Facebook, you work with Microsoft, lots of companies, and you coach thousands of people. The people that you work with, what are the biggest things they need to subtract? If people are like,
the biggest thing, it's mindset. It's usually mindset, because we self-sabotage in so many different ways, where like procrastination, actually fear most of the time. You're scared of something. Most of the time you're scared of something. Either you're scared to be uncomfortable, you're scared to fail, you're scared to it's usually something around self-confidence or getting over the pattern of self-sabotage.
Right.
Where oh, well, it didn't work before, so I couldn't possibly do it again. No one said that. There's no one outside with picket signs saying you can't achieve your goals. Literally, there's nobody saying that. So
interesting. So that's interesting to me. What about, is some of it fear of success? Because you're the success bully. So is some of it?
I have foppers and fossers. So the fear of failure, foppers, fear of failure, and then we have the fossers, the fear of success. And usually when they get over the fear of failure and it's going well, then it's a fear of success that sabotages. Yeah, so managing, it's all fear, grounded in nothing. I see it on both sides.
Okay, and then what are the most common things that people need to add in? So we're talking about adding and subtracting from your life to get towards that one goal.
I think adding consistency.
Okay.
Adding consistency. So if you don't touch your goal every day, don't be surprised when you don't have progress. When you're not doing even the smallest baby step, there's a compound effect of baby steps. It's when you do something, you pick it up and you work on it for 3 hours and then you don't touch it for 2 weeks, that you don't develop anything, right? And so I think that consistency is something that you need to add. I also think that adding a plan, having some framework that you're following. I think that we'll do all of these exercises, and we even do it with performance reviews, where we set these goals and they're amazing, but we don't take that next step of, okay, now how do I break this down into my 30, 60, 90? Okay, what does the next week look like? What does the next 2 weeks look like? So gift yourself with a planning document for yourself, So that's what I would add.
So we've got the one goal, and then we're putting a line in the sand time-wise, we're adding and subtracting. Just want to quickly touch on the adding and subtracting. How much is that about adding language that's positive? So for example, great questions come in, the language of I can't versus I don't want to, for example.
Oh yeah, well, first of all, I can't isn't even on the table.
Okay, we're getting rid of that from
we all can. We all can, right? I think that a slight shifts, I have to I get to. Right, where there's that gratitude element around it. Being very mindful how you talk to yourself and how you talk to others, right? So I do think that comes back to that mindset piece, that when you are mindful of how you're thinking, you're also mindful of how you're speaking. You're also mindful on how you what you're putting out into the world and how you are showing up. So it all
Okay.
kind of how thoughts eventually impact your actions.
Okay, interesting. And just on that, you mentioned adding in a plan. We've had a great question come through. Can you just talk us through, you mentioned 30, 60, 90 in terms of 30-day plan, 60-day plan, 90-day plan. Quick précis on that. I know we could talk about that for hours, but.
Okay, I'll give it to you. And so the reason why we approach it this way is that it takes 33 to 66 days to develop a new habit and 90 days before you see results. So there's like this common misnomer that it takes 21 days to develop a new habit. No, it's like a month to 2 months, and then roughly 3 months before you see results. And so when I work with clients, I have them focus in on 90-day increments. So yes, we have the year-long goal, but let's focus in on that first 90 days because we got to really lock in on that habit formation. So once we get you in rhythm, then the next 90 days is all about the turning dials and tweaking versus just getting you in the habit of doing the daily process to move towards your goal.
Okay. And so the other thing is, so I've got one big goal. You mentioned last year yours was revenue for your business. And we've got, okay, there's about 25% of the people on the call today have their own business.
Yeah.
So they've got their plan. They want to make more money this year. Maybe they want to make $100,000. Let's use that as an example. How do they break that down? Like, how do you chunk that down? And once you've chunked it, how do you stay accountable to that? Like, how do you keep on top of it?
Okay. So the way that I approach this is think about tennis. Okay. Work with me here. Yeah. That tennis in the sense of what are the balls that you knock over the net or not hit, volley, whatever. Okay. I was working on this analogy. Okay. I don't play tennis. I play no sports. But like, I think that when we're goal setting, we add serendipity and other people's responses and stuff to things when what we really control are our actions. So especially for my business owners, what are I call them MMAs, money-making activities. So what are those MMAs that you need to do daily to drive your business forward versus, yes, it's nice to have a revenue goal, but you got to back it up even further. Where is that money coming from? How are you getting in front of your customers? How much of that do you need to do daily before you see a conversion? So like really getting into that minutia. So like for me, I think of it as it touches. So how many people have I touched today? And so if I want to see explosive growth month over month, I need to be in front of 150 people every month.
Okay.
Right. And I can gamify the system by how many people are on this call?
We've got close on 90 right now.
Okay. So like I only have 60 more to go. Thanks. Like we can gamify some of this, but without knowing that daily action, I wouldn't know. Right. So that's the kind of stuff, like think of it in those smallest activities that you control.
And I love that you talk about you've got to touch that goal every day. About 60% of the people on the call today work for a large company, right? And so some of you might be in sales. So the money making activities are important to you. Some of you might be in marketing or finance. There's still things that you can do every single day to help move the needle so that you're really going to be putting your best foot forward at work so that you get the great promotion and the great, pay raises that come with that success. Okay. So there's there's 4 steps. We've gone through step 1, write down all the things you want to do, choose one. Step 2, we're putting a line in the sand and making it timely. When do you want to have it done by? Step 3, we're adding stuff in to help and we're taking stuff out that's not going to help us get to the goal. What is the final step, Keita?
What's your why?
Ooh, that's a curveball.
This is the squishiest question I ask. Why is this important to you? Why is it important? And you have to have a compelling why. Your why has to be bigger than you. Your why has to be, you have to be so deeply connected to it that when you don't feel like it, you'll do it. When you don't feel like getting out of bed, you'll do it. When you've had that bad day, you'll do it. So like having a why that is like that's part of the fiber of your being. I'm going full dramatic on that one. Fiber of your being.
Yeah.
Having a really compelling why that is rocket fuel when things are going well. Right. But it's also like your anchor when things get messy. Like 2020 got off the rails. And I think I have a compelling why. And so like my what did not change, my how did.
Okay. But the why didn't change.
The why didn't change. The why was why I was able to go, okay, now what do we need to do differently? It wasn't like, okay, I quit, I lay down, we're done. Like,
Yeah.
we're done. Like, guess I better get a job. No, it wasn't that at all.
Yeah, right. So it's interesting. So when I think about Pep Talk and my business, like my why, the reason why I started this business and left the journalism world and whatever is because I really want to see the gender pay gap close. Like that is my big picture why. So what would you be open to sharing your why as well,
Oh,
Keita?
yes, of course. I would love to share
Up
my
to you.
why. I'd love to. My why is that I am, my natural gift is encouragement, right? Like that is what I've been in, one of those rah rah people since I was a kid.
Yeah,
But I know that there are so many amazing ideas, whether
yeah,
it's businesses, whether it's, art, whether it's books that
yeah.
wither on the vine because people can't get out of their own way, or they're
Hmm.
scared, or they don't have a plan, or they don't, there's something getting in their way. And this
Hmm.
is my thumbprint on humanity. I can inspire other people to achieve their goals
Hmm.
and live the life they deserve and give them the tools to do so. And I get to do it my way. Like it's a friendly butt kicking, I have fun with it. I get to do it every
Yeah,
day. And
yeah.
so and it's bigger than me, that I hope that as we build this, that we can impact millions of people and help millions of people achieve their goals. So
That's awesome.
that's
So
my why.
that's so helpful for any of the business owners on the line, having your clear why. What about for people who work for a company? Like, how do you find a why in that respect? Or are you saying that if they've got a New Year's resolution, the why behind that specific goal? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, having a why behind a specific goal. But if you have your when you have the goals at work that are kind of assigned to you, your why is the impact, right? So
Hmm.
yes, there's the why that the company wants you to do this, but you get that pay raise and that promotion. How does that impact your family?
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? Like what
Yeah.
kind of life can you provide? What schools can you send your kids to? Like the why can be um you could still have a compelling why for your corporate career, right?
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So please feel free to send through your questions to Keita about what some of the challenges you've had in the past, maybe about setting your goals and keeping habits. We've had a question come in about holding ourselves accountable. What's the best way to stay on track? If we've chunked our goal down and we've got a 30-day plan, a 60-day and a 90-day plan, how do we then like make sure we don't sort of like go off the rails, so to speak?
Okay, well, there's two ways you do that. First of all,
Okay.
the first step of accountability is tracking. You hold yourself accountable, track your progress. So that is daily looking at your goal, tracking where you are with that. So having some sort of tracking system that when you decide to do step two, which is have an accountability partner or be part of an accountability circle, you can share where you are with things. So first step, be accountable to yourself by tracking your progress. And then second step, being able to share that with others.
That's awesome. So I know, how can people find that accountability partner? Do they just message their best mate or someone like,
Oh no! Whatever you do, don't call your best friend. Don't call your best friend, because your best friend will be like, "Oh, I'm sorry that didn't work. Let's go get cocktails." I think that when you're thinking about an accountability partner, you cannot force someone to be your accountability partner. They have to be. It's a relationship. You both have to be in it to win it, or whether it's an accountability circle, everyone has to be on the same page. There has to be a level of trust. There has to be a level of transparency because you're going to get into each other's stuff, and there has to be consistency. So, like the way that I think about it, the minimum you should connect with your accountability partner is every other week. I do high performance accountability, so we're touching base weekly. In some of my groups, we have weekly touch bases, and then they have an accountability partner that they're connected with day to day. So, like, it just really depends on how fast and how far you want to go, right?
yeah,
If you're checking in once a month, a lot can happen in a month. you
yeah,
know,
well,
your whole
that's,
life can change in a month. Um, or you
mhm.
could go off the rails and can't get back on track because now too much time has passed. So
Okay.
as I think about it, and when I think of like the attributes of a accountability partner, someone that'll
Mhm.
tell you the truth,
Okay.
that'll give you the hard, harsh truth, that won't sugarcoat it, that'll like, yeah, well, you didn't do that thing because you didn't want to. It wasn't that, you didn't have the time, you just didn't prioritize it. What
Yeah.
can we do differently in the future?
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to talk about that. We've got Susan's made a really great call in the comments saying like, let's hold each other accountable and make those goals public. So I want to give everyone on the call the chance to, if you'd like to share the goal in the group, feel free to do that, or you can send it directly to either Meggie or Keita. We would love to hear what your goals are. Keita, I know that one of the things that you're running is actually a challenge. So you mentioned that it takes sort of 60 days to actually start a new habit and 90 days to see the results. You've started something to kind of help get that momentum, the 5-day challenge. Do you want to quickly talk us through that?
Oh yeah, I'm always up to something. So we are starting on December 14th, which is Monday. We're doing the 5 days of focus, and this is for our aspiring corporate escape artists. And so if you have a side hustle, as a former corporate escape artist, if you have a side hustle and you're trying to figure out how to next level it around your corporate career, we have some best practices that we want to share. So like we'll walk you through a process that takes about a half an hour a day to help you kind of map out your strategy for 2021.
I love that. And that's a great way for people to kind of get started, to sort of map that out and have that accountability, because it's great to have this conversation, Keita, and it's another thing to
sit down and write it. Yep. Yeah. And I think that getting it out of your head and on paper is so important, because
Yes.
like you can say, well, this is what I'm going to do. But yeah, then a couple days go by.
Yeah. So what I want to do is I want to put a challenge to everyone on the call. Most people are in the Asia Pacific region, so it is Friday. So I want to put a challenge to you that by the end of the weekend, we need you to have done the 4 steps. So let's just quickly run through the 4 steps again, Keita, so people can action that. We would love to hear how you go as well in the new year. So I'll leave that to you, Keita, to sort of run us through the top 4 steps.
Top 4 steps is what? What do you want? So do the list. Think of it from high impact. So choose that one thing that has the highest level of impact in your life that'll create that ripple effect. Number 2, hard line in the sand. When do you want it by? So we want an exact date. I want day, month, date, year, not season, not end of, something that we can actually measure from. And then I want you to think about, what are you going to add or subtract? Every goal comes at a cost, and that's not just what's in your wallet. Okay. And then number 4, what is your why? Why is this important to you? And it has to be bigger than you. It has to be compelling enough for you to stay motivated when things are going really well or when things get off the rails. So that's the 4.
That is great. So a challenge to everyone on the call. You've got 72 hours to do those 4 steps. If you've got time now, take half an hour, take 45 minutes to do that now. No time like the present. And then we're so excited to see the impact that those 4 steps have on your life in the first 90 days of 2021. Keita, quick question coming through. Some great goals. Caroline, hello. She wants to raise 1.5 million in capital by June 2021.
Yes.
That is awesome. Someone's starting a wedding video business by June 2021 as well, which is awesome. Very cool. Also, Valeria is getting the band together for the corporate conference, a literal band. She plays the bass guitar. So there you go. For people congratulations to everyone who's set those goals already. For people who don't know their why, Keita, who they've kind of got like they want to lose weight or they want to make money or they want to get a promotion, but they can't find the why. Any steps for sort of unpeeling that part of the onion?
Oh yeah, I think that when you kind of step back from it, if you had a magical time machine, you got in the magical time machine, and you fast forward a year from now, what do things look like? How do they feel? Sometimes it's a feeling that you're after, not necessarily. It's not the money, it's the security that you want, or it's the vacation that you want, right? Or the losing the weight. Yeah, you want to look good, but you also maybe want some extra energy so you can travel and you can do all these other things. So what, if you're having trouble connecting it to a why, just think of that time machine exercise. If you got out of the time machine and you looked around, what would you be feeling? What would you be sensing? What would your life look like? What house are you walking into, right? So that's how I would think about it.
And something that one of my mentors, she's a lecturer at Stanford University, and she said to me that she finds, particularly for women, sometimes it's easier for us to find a why looking outwards to other people. So for her, for example, when she goes in to negotiate her salary, she finds it really hard to negotiate on behalf of her. So she says she negotiates on behalf of her husband, her kids, her grandkids, her 2 horses, and the next generations of academics. That's how she frames it. So I wonder as well, if you're finding it hard to tap into your own, maybe think more collectively, and that might help you get some of those creative juices started as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Who else does it impact?
Yeah. Who else can your goal and your desire for 2021 impact, and what will that legacy be? So exciting. Now, Keita, for people who want to stay in touch, this has been an amazing conversation. We've got a lot of questions coming through. So we wish we could get to all of them. How can people stay in touch? Hopefully they'll join your 5-day challenge.
Yes, you can do that at successbully.com/challenge. So you want to join the challenge there. I'm on all the socials. We're on brand, so everything is Success Bully. So I'm on the Twitters, the Facebook, and the Instagram, all at Success Bully. We grabbed all the handles right away. So that's where you can find me, and successbully.com.
Yay! Bullying all the social medias into giving you the handle. I love it, Keita. We
Yeah.
love to do this. This has been amazing. So again, a challenge to all of you on the call. Thank you for sending your goals through. If you haven't already, we're going to give you 72 hours to go through those 4 steps to set your goals for 2021. And we want you to reach out to someone, not your best mate who's just going to say, let's get drinks, someone else who's going to actually hold you accountable every fortnight, every 2 weeks. Who can that person be? So I want to add that to your to-do list.
Ooh, I love it.
The accountability partner, and let us know. Reach out to Keita and let her know on social media at Success Bully. I am on social media at PepTalkHer. This has been a delight. A huge thank you to Ruby Connection for supporting these conversations. You can head to rubyconnection.com.au and they've got some amazing resources there for your career and for your small business, for those of you who have your own ventures. Exciting news to everyone who's set those goals publicly. Thank you for doing that. If you'd like to share them more privately, you can DM them to Keita or I on Instagram or Twitter at Success Bully and at PepTalkHer. We are so excited for 2021 to be even better. It's going to be a good year. I'm feeling good about it. Keita, what about you?
I'm excited about it. I'm excited. Like, this has been a year of learning and expansion. So I feel like 2021 is going to be all about putting it to good use.
That is absolutely right. I'm delighted to hear that you're excited about it. I am as well. So do keep in touch. You can find Keita Williams on LinkedIn as well. I'm Meggie Palmer. This has been a delight. We will be continuing these conversations in 2021 every month. So keep an eye out in your inbox and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye.